Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about character formatting and styles. On the screen I have a basic document that I wrote when I did a class on web design. You see here simple, unformatted, black and white text about 2 pages in length, or excuse me, 2.5 pages in length. So what we're going to use this document to learn about character formatting and styles. Now, you will see in the exam instructions, if you take the certification exam, that Microsoft does not care how you get to the result as long as you get to it. There are 2 different ways to format text. So if I wanted to take World Wide Web here and change the font size, I can do that in actually 3 different ways. One, I can come up here and just change the font size. That's method number 1. Method number 2, I can right click on the text, come up here to the what's called the mini ribbon, and change the text size. Or number 3, I could go into the font dialog box and change the size here. Unlike previous exams, unless it specifically tells you a way to do it, any way is correct. All 3 of those ways would produce the correct result. The exam grades you on if you have the correct result, not how you got there. So, let's undo that. Alright. So, let's style our text here. So let's change the color of the first paragraph. Let's make that blue. Now the colors you see will be dependent on your theme. If you're asked to change a text color, more than likely you'll be asked to change a color within the theme. If you point to a color, you will see its name. Microsoft on the exam, if they want you to change the text color, will give you a color and give you the name. They'll give you the name of the color they want you. So we'll use, let's say, blue accent 5. So we'll use that for the first paragraph. Now I want to style my paragraph by creating a drop cap. A drop cap is a large first letter that goes in the margin. This is something that could be tested on your certification exam as well. So if we go over to Insert and go to Drop Cap, we will have 2 options, dropped or in the margin. So we'll just say dropped, and now notice we have a big T. It takes up the first 3 lines of text, and the text automatically indented over. So that is a drop cap. Now, so far we've done text color, we put in a drop cap, we've changed text size. Typically all the options that you will need are right here in the font group. Now if there's an option that it asks you to do that you can't find, more than likely it's in here. There's some additional options here like double strike through and small caps that aren't on the font group here that are in the dialog box. So in the second paragraph here, we're going to change the font. Now to change the font, I can just start typing a font name, or I can pick from the list. Now if I use the list, I get a preview as I pick the font of what my selection will look like. So we'll use Bell MT. We'll use Bell MT here. So now I've changed the font of my second paragraph. Now if I select both the first and second paragraphs, you'll notice my font selector goes blank. That indicates that multiple fonts are selected. Now if I were to change the font here, I would obviously change the font of both paragraphs and standard to whatever I pick. So the first paragraph would change from Times New Roman, the second paragraph would change from Bell to whatever font I picked. Now you might also be asked to remove formatting. So I could go here, I could go back to black here. If I had other options there, I could do that. But, however, there is a simpler way. If I go here to this button right here that says clear all formatting, that will clear the text color. It'll also clear other things. So let me undo. Let me change the font to 25. Let me change the font to Arial. So now we have a big paragraph here with a different color and a different font. So if I clear this out, it'll change the font back to what it was, which is Times New Roman, change the size back to 12. Notice the drop cap is not affected because the drop cap now is technically an image. So the drop cap will not be removed when we remove formatting. However, color, size, effects like bold, let me go back again here, we'll redo this, or we'll undo this, excuse me, and we'll go back here, we'll make this bold and underlined, and then we'll remove formatting. So anything in the font group that can be put on it, clear formatting will remove. Now let's talk about styles. Styles are basically predefined formats. So specific font, size, color, etc. Now there are built-in styles as you see here. So let's say I want to make this a title. So there I've made my title. Notice it changed the font, it changed the size, and this style did not have a color on it. However, I want to make this a heading. So now it changed the size and made it a heading. Now also by making it a heading, we create over here, the heading styles automatically create headings in navigation. So I can quickly, if I use heading styles, I can quickly move to specific headings using my navigation pane, which I have over here on the left. Now there are 2 heading styles on here. There are actually more headings than that. They're just hidden until we use them. If I go in here to manage styles, you will see there's actually 8 different headings. 9 different headings, but only 1 and 2 show up unless they are used. On your exam, you will probably be asked to use multiple headings. So we highlight the text and pick the heading. Now if we want to use one that's not on here, we can change the sort order. We can go here and we can go over here to all styles, or options, all styles, and we'll show all styles. Notice heading 1 through 9 now show up here. So if I go down here to HTML's framework and pick heading 3, it now shows up. And notice it also now shows up here in the styles, heading 3 now, and the next heading, if I'm using heading 3, the next heading will automatically show up as well. Now you might be asked to create a style. So to create a style, we find some text. Let's say we're going to create a style for this code here. So we want to make it Times New Roman. We want to make it 20. We want to change it to a orange color. And we want to italicize it. So there's our style, orange text, size 20, italicized. So I can click over here, and down here we have new style. Now if I highlight the text that I just styled, that format will automatically be put in the formatting dialog box, or the create new style from formatting that pops up here. You'll see my size, italics, and my font color automatically selected. We'll call this code. Now there are some options here. We can add it to the styles gallery, which means it'll show up here. We can have it only in this document, or we can create this style to new documents based on this template. Now, unnoticed to most people, behind every Word document there's a template. If you do not use a template, you're using a template called normal period dot. DOT is the file system for templates. You're actually using a template called normal. So if I were to select this option, this code would now be available this style name code would now be available in every document I create based on this normal template. So basically any blank document I create will have that style in it. So if I hit OK, notice code is now here. I can go down here. I don't have any other code, but I could go down here, click code, and say, type some code here like I was ending an HTML document. Or I could find some text here. We'll say this 2.5 million. Here we'll say this 2.5 million, and we'll click that. Now notice it makes the entire paragraph that style. Styles are paragraph based. So if I want to use a style, the style will be applied to the entire paragraph, not just the text that I've selected. So if I put this thing if I put my cursor anywhere in a paragraph, I can apply a paragraph to that style. So that's something to keep in mind. I cannot style just some text within a paragraph. I must style the entire paragraph. Now if I want to style just a line, I'd make it its own paragraph, but I cannot style something within a line within a paragraph. So we've talked about fonts, we've talked about different styles, character formatting, and we've talked about paragraph styles. We've also talked about how using headings will allow you to create document navigation. So your assignment is to look in the supplementary material. I will have this same document posted for you, and I also have a PDF with instructions of how I want you to style this document to practice using styles and font and character formatting. Remember, unless it specifically tells you to use a style, you do not have to use styles. If it just says change every time you see framework, change it to orange, you may do that without creating a style. But if you want to create a style, you can, as long as you arrive at the right answer. So look down in supplementary material under where you clicked for this video, and you will find that material. And we'll see you next time.